We are recording the session, and also my screen is shared, so you can see my screen. So yesterday, what we had covered, just we had covered a very basic understanding of MDM concept. We all know about this concept, like what is our main intention to for MDM, like what we want finally from multiple records, we want only one single record, and that we conclude on the basis of the trust value. So we covered that thing, and also we covered the project overview, like real in real time, what will be the flow of the project and what will be the different tool and technology will be utilized for MDM project. Then we covered, like if we are having a different type of heterogeneous sources, so for that we need to integrate data from all these sources, and we put data to a central location, to a database. Like most of the time we do use a Oracle database, but in general case this could be anything, any database like MySQL Server or anything. It's then after we for example, we understood that if we are having three source system, so and we are getting for example one record from source system 1, second record from source system 2, third record from source system 3. Then if we are having three source system, then how many landing tables we can create, that thing we covered. So generally we create a single landing table, or we create a one landing table for one source system in general cases. So that all depends on the data volumes. So once we will create a single landing table, in that case we will maintain a flag for the source system, so that we can identify like this particular record came from which source system. And if we are maintaining a kind of single landing table for each and every source system, then we have no need to maintain a flag. We can easily keep only the business information, business data what we are getting. So from respective source system, the respective data will go into the landing tables. So Akash, actually some sound is coming from my side, like some song is going on outside of my home. So is it creating a disturbance or what?
I don't hear any sound, Sujit.
That's fine, huh?
Yeah,
Okay, okay,
I
good.
don't know.
Fine, fine, fine. Then that's good. Uh, so that basic thing we covered in the yesterday class. So today actually what I am planning, see, like if we are going to learn any tool or technology, we need to have a installation first. Then we can do kind of any practical things, right? So today what I am planning, we need to know the installation steps of the virtual machine. What the software I am going to share you. What are the steps so that you can install in your machine after downloading it. So we will try to learn it, because what the thing actually I am trying to open my MDM server, but that is creating some issue. I don't know. I can you can so you can see that. So I am trying to open it, but that is creating some problems. So what I am doing now, I am going to install a separate VM for this Informatica MDM, so that you can understand, and you can also understand how to like install the VM in virtual machine, because that thing also we need to cover, because all of you will go through this. So first of all, you need to install a virtual machine workstation software. I will give you that software, and once you will install this, you will just a minute. Once you will install it, you will see an icon like this, VMware Workstation Pro. So I will send you this software, and I will also send you the license file for this software. So after installing it, just you have to open it, then this type of screen will open. So if you want to install a virtual machine software inside this, so what the step you need to take care. First of all, you have to go to file, then click on new virtual machine. Then in here two options are there, so you can keep a typical recommended, then click on next. Then here you can see three options are there, like installer disk image file. I will install the operating system later. Okay, so what we are doing, we are selecting the third option. So see, if you are going to install a kind of different operating system, so what you can do, like if you want to install like Windows Server 2012 inside that VM, so you should have a ISO file. Either you should have a ISO file, then it will be installed. Either you should have a ISO file or you should have a disk file. So if you will insert a DVD inside your DVD writer, then it will read from there. And if you want to do the soft installation, for that you need to have a ISO file. So after selecting this ISO file, just you can click next, then you can install a separate operating system inside that VM. But here what we are selecting third one, because what we will do, first of all, I am just creating a, kind of empty virtual box, and after creating this empty virtual box, I will try to map this virtual box with the VMDK file what I have given to you. So let's try to open this option, then click on next. Here you can see there are lots of options are there. So actually our virtual machine is based on the Microsoft Windows Server 2003. So here you have to select a guest operating system Microsoft Windows, and in version you have to select Windows Server 2003 Enterprise Edition. This option you have to select, then click on next. So here you can give the name like here you can give the name like Informatica MDM, anything name you want to see in the left hand side. And here you can assign the location like where you want to install. So I am keeping the location as a default. Now let's click on next. Yeah, here you can give a disk size. So by default this is taking 40 GB, so it is recommended to give a 40 GB if you are having enough space. But if you are having less space, then you can try for 30 to 35 GB also. And also if you want to give like a more space like 100 GB for a kind of huge applications or big applications, so you can assign the space as per your requirement. Then we are having two options, like a store virtual disk as a single file, a split virtual disk into multiple files. So we can select any one that will not impact our actual work. But what it will do, like if we are clicking first one, so it will create one single file, VMDK file. And if we are clicking a second one, it will create a multiple VMDK file. It will split the bigger VMDK file into different segment. So the performance will be less in the second case. But if you want to move import that particular dump of software to other machine, then in that case second option will be better. So let's keep second option as it is. Now I am clicking next. Now click finish. So you can see here one virtual machine has been created inside that virtual machine workstation. So just click on this. Now go to edit virtual machine setting. Here you have to go. Then after clicking here, you have to come here. Here you can see hard disk 40 GB something is already there. So you have to remove it. So click on remove. That is removed. Now you have to add a different before adding it, I need to show something. Before adding it, you need to understand, like I will send you a rar file something like this. Like once you will download the complete software now, so it will have a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 files, and I think each file will have a 2 GB of size, so it will be approx 14 GB. So once you will download all the files, try to put all the files in one folder. You can make any folder where you have enough space, and try to put all the files in one folder. After copying all the files in one folder, just click all the files. Just select all the files, and after selecting, right click on that and click on extract here. So once you will click on extract here, so it will take approx 30 minutes or 40 minutes of the time to extract, or maybe more than that also it can take. I think yeah, it can take 2 hours or 1 hours also. So you can put click on extract here, and you can leave it. It will take some time, and finally you will get a one final VMDK file like this. So you can see the size of this file is around 32 GB. So we had compressed that file into 14 GB, and we had broken that 14 GB file into a different what we say different segment to easily upload and to easily download. So after extracting these 7 files, finally we will get receive this file. So try to try to copy this file to some locations, because I want to keep this file as a backup. Because what happens, like just now I have shown you now, like today I am not able to log into MDM hub. So we are trying to create a new copy. So what happens, sometimes the server get crashed, so you will not be able to log in. So for avoiding this situation, try to keep a backup copy. So once you will create this 32 GB VMDK file, so try to copy it, and try to make a other folder. Like I have made one other folder, and try to copy that particular 32 GB dump to this location. And we will try to do POC or anything after mapping with this dump, like this 32 GB file. And we are already having a one backup file here. So if anything wrong will happen with this VMDK file, then we can easily kind of remove that dump, and we can remap the dump with the actual one. So we can recover our kind of application. That's not a problem. So we have copied one same dump to the this location. So now we have created one empty box inside a virtual machine, and we are trying to map that empty virtual machine with the VMDK file, virtual machine disk file. So here you can see 40 GB is showing, so you have to remove it, and now you click on add. Once you click on add now, so here select the option of hard disk. What the default option you can see, try to select the default option. Click on next. Here you can see virtual disk type. There are different types are there. So here you have to select the second option, SCSI, that is a recommended one, and you have no need to do any click. Keep all the things default. Now click on next. Here you can see three options are there, like create a new virtual disk, use an existing virtual disk, use a physical copy for advanced user. So if you want to if you want to install some application in a different virtual machine, so first of all what we do generally, this is the image file of virtual machine, so that is a very easy for us to map this. But if you want to install some application in virtual machine, so before that we do install a operating system, what the steps I told earlier. So with the help of installing the operating system, after installing the operating system, we will create a new virtual disk file, and inside that file we will do installation of other applications, like what the databases, what the other applications we will have. So that process we follow in the real time. But if you are already having a kind of virtual disk file, so you can easily click a second option, and you can map that virtual disk file with the this empty virtual box. So let's click a second option and click on next. So here it will ask like where your disk file is located, which you want to map. So just we have to click that location, go to here. What is the location? That is inside the E drive. It is inside the E drive. My gosh. This is the location. So here we had copied a second dump. So we want to map this dump. So click on this, click on open. Now keep other option as it is. Now click on finish. Here you can see, so you have to keep a default option, keep existing format. Now click on OK. So finally you have created one virtual machine, and you have mapped one image file of virtual machine like VMDK file with this empty virtual machine. Now just select that Informatica MDM virtual machine, and now click on power on this virtual machine. So now your virtual machine will open, and what the things are there inside that VMDK file, the thing will open. So already we have installed Windows Server 2003 operating system, and inside that operating system you have already installed all the applications which will be required to do the POC or to do the practicals. So that a step you have to follow once you will complete your download of the software. Here I think we need to provide a password for the login. So let's see. Yeah, so it will ask for password, na? So password for the this virtual machine is tutors99.com. TUTORS just a minute. TUTORS99.com. That is the password I have given. So just click anything like system failure or security issue, anything you can select. Click on OK. Now our actual virtual machine will start. So this thing you can see after doing the proper installation of the VMDK file. So here once this will open, see here we need to give a kind of RAM. So if you want to give just a minute, so here you can see like how much RAM has been assigned to this particular virtual machine. You can see that. For that you need to click on VM, go to setting, and here you can see there's like just we have assigned 384 MB of RAM, so that will be very less, right? So at least we need to assign 2 GB of RAM. So try to drag it, or you can put a value 2048 MB and click on OK. So this much of RAM will be assigned to this virtual machine. So at least try to assign 2 GB of RAM minimum, and if you are having kind of 8 GB or 16 GB of RAM in your machine, then you can assign 4 GB or 8 GB for a better performance. So now we can see, yeah, 2 GB RAM has been assigned. Fine. Okay. Now disconnect it. Now here you can see I have attached one document, MDM instruction. Just click on this. Just a minute. So once you will open this document, you can see first step what we need to do, change the VM time to 2011 something, means 1st November 2011. So just come in the left hand bottom side, you can see date and time setting. We all know that. So double click that, come to 2011. select any date and select like October, November, like let's select November, 1st November, then apply. Fine. So this step you have followed, because see, for the training purpose we do use a kind of any old license files, because we are not doing here our project work. Okay. Also I have a license file for 14 and 15 also, but I need to map that license file with the installation. So once I will map, then you can also put a kind of latest date. But with this VM, we have mapped the old license file for 2011. So first of all, you have to change the system, not your system time, your VM time after powering on the VM machine. So change the time to this, like 1st November 2011. Now, first of all, you have to, if you want to start the MDM hub or MDM console, for that you need to first start the JBoss or application server. So for that, what you need to do, like here you can see how to start JBoss. So go to D drive JBoss this. So you have to go to this location for starting the JBoss. So let's go to that location. We need to move to that location, then we will fire this command like run.bat, and this script we will fire. So with the help of that JBoss server will start. So I am trying to navigate to D drive. So here you can see we have two drive. In C we have installed MDM server, and in the D we have installed JBoss server, but you can install all these application in one drive also. There is no restriction. So here the application is, see, for running any application server, we should have at least GRE and JDK installed. So here you can see, like if you are trying to install any MDM application from scratch, so first of all you need to install a GRE, and then you need to install JDK, then you need to install a JBoss server, because JBoss server runs with the help of this GRE and JDK files. Once you install the GRE and JDK and JBoss, then you can install your Oracle kind of database 11G. That is not, but always try to install Oracle database first. Like you can keep a sequence like this. First install Oracle database 11G. If you want to install from scratch 11G or 12C, like what are the version which will be provided. Then install GRE, JDK and JBoss, because when you will install JBoss, sometimes you need to deploy some data sources of the database. So you need some kind of username, password or database credential for the database. That's why I am telling that please install database first, then go for GRE, JDK and JBoss. If you install the second part like application server, now you can go for the actual application. Like in actual applications, there are three segment, like there are three set of files you will see, like MRM server, cleanse my server and resource kit. We can see that I am just showing it. Here we can see. Yeah, so MDM 10, I have a 10.1 for window. So here you can see what type of actual set of file you will receive from Informatica. So you will receive a three set of file, one for MRM server, one for resource kit and one for cleanse my server. So this inside this folder you can see the actual set of file.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, Andrew.
Sujit?
Yeah.
Yeah, what version we are going to install?
See, in the VMware we are going to use 9.1, but I have this 10.1 version, so I am trying to install this 10.1 on some cloud server, so that actually that 10.1 is very huge. Okay, so it will require minimum
Okay.
16 to 32 GB of RAM. So I am planning to install that
Okay.
10.1 on the cloud server, and I will give access to
Okay.
everyone, so that everyone can access from their machine. Okay, so
Okay. Instead of individually installing in our machine, it will be easy, right?
yeah, it will be accessible through the cloud. And
Okay.
physically you will have a kind of 9.1 as a VMware, because see, in 9.1 and 10.1, 95% things are same. The 5% things which are not present in 9.1 we will cover with the help of 10.1, which are
Okay.
extra added in the 10.1. Okay. So just I am showing the means, what the setup file you will receive, once you are going to install, or once you are going to do the study of the kind of actual applications. So here you will see, inside this 10.1 window file, you will have a three setup file. First of all, that is the MDM server. So here you can see that is the hub underscore install. That is the means hub part. Like here you have to map your database. Here you have to map your application server with this hub server installation, and that is the out of these three we install a kind MRM server first. Then we can go for kind of resource kit or clean. That's not a problem. So in the source kit you will see some sample files will be there, some sample kind of code will be there. So with the help of that we can do some POC also. And in Cleage, like if you are not installing that third application, so it's not like that you will not able to do the, you will not able to run the application. You can run the application, but you cannot perform the cleansing operation. Like if you are using any clean function, like in a mapping, so you cannot perform the cleanse operation unless and until you will not install it. So we do generally install these three application for a complete Informatica MDM setup. First this, then this, and then this. So that was the actual setup file. So yeah, so we are trying to start the actually MDM application. So before that we need to start the JBoss application. So for that we need to navigate to the JBoss. In 2 GB that is kind of slow. Let me increase the RAM. It's better now. We will have we will do install on the cloud server, because cloud server if you will assign kind of 16 GB or 32 GB of RAM, na, this will run very fast. So this is the location where we have to navigate. Actually, that is in 2 GB also. Like if you will assign 2 GB RAM, so this will not be slow like this. Actually, first time we have just configured this virtual machine for this VMDK file. That's why this is looking like that is slow. But in general case, once you will restart, and once you will use a third or fourth time, so that will not be slow like this. You can easily work. So for first time, that is kind of slow. Yeah, so what we have to do, we have to navigate to this location D and this, copy this, open a command prompt, and try to change your location to that location. So press enter. After this, press this D and this one. then press enter, then you will see that your location has been changed to D drive, JBoss, and this. We need to navigate to this location, and in the instruction you can see open, go to this, open command and go to location this. Fine, we have moved to this location. Then execute the script, run this. We need to run this script. Copy and paste here, press enter. Now you can see this is calling the actually runnable byte file of this JBoss. So it will take some time, so let it be started. So today what we are trying to cover today, see, once if you are going to learn any database, if you want to go to learn SQL database, Oracle database, MySQL database. So for that, what we do generally, first of all, we will install the actual application, we will install the actual database. Then after installation, we do create a database first, because unless and until we will not create any database, we cannot create any kind of any object inside that database. Like you cannot create any user, we cannot create any tables, or you cannot insert any data. So the same thing will apply here also, because we know that in backend, like all the data of MDM server or MDM application are getting stored in a Oracle database, because here we are considering Oracle database. But in general case, the database could be like DB2 or SQL Server also. But here we are using Oracle database. So first of all, what we are going to do, once our application will start running, so first of all we will try to create a schema, so that on top of that schema we can do some POC, we can create some table, we can create some we can insert some data in that table, and we can do some interaction with that table with the help of MDM application. So there is a one term that is called ORS in MDM, that is operational reference store. That is for understanding, you can you can understand, that is like a one user I same in a database. Like if you are creating one user in Oracle database, so that is same like we are mapping that user to MDM application. So that is the meaning of ORS. Like before, like if you want to like if you have started a new project, so at least you should have a 3 ORS. One ORS for development, and one ORS for dev ORS. Then at least you should have a second ORS like test ORS. Then you should have at least a third ORS, that is called production ORS. So this is the minimum ORS at least we need to create, minimum users or minimum schema we need to create, so that we can store our all the data objects or all the metadata objects on top of these ORSs. Like once we will start developing our code, we will do our all the kind of development in the dev ORS. And once our development will complete, then we will do kind of unit testing and all the stuffs inside the development ORS, and only the development team will have the access to connect with this development ORS. Like we can assign a security that this particular ORS should be accessible to this particular group of people. So in general we do assign access to the developers only for the development ORS. And for testing ORS, we will assign access to the only testers, means tester teams. So we need to add, we need to create a different user. Like suppose for development we are having 10 users, so we will create a 10 user, and we will define a role, and we will define access to that particular ORS. For that also, testing also, and for production also, we need to create a separate user, and we need to give the access to all the users respectively. So with the help of that, we can easily assign a security to a particular member, to a particular user, to a particular application. So we will once the application will up, then we will at least try to create one ORS, so that on top of that we can do some POC. But before that, we need to understand, like there are two. Once you will do the installation, so at the time of installation, you need to configure at least two ORS. So one is called CMX underscore system, and second is called CMX ORS. That is called CMX ORS. Simple. So what are the difference between these two? Because at the time of installation, we are forced to create this at least first one. Second one you can create or you cannot create. That's optional. But first one you have to create. So what is the reason behind creating this first ORS? So first ORS will act as a metadata store. So here all the metadata information of Informatica MDM objects and all the metadata information of this particular CMX ORS will get stored in the CMX system. So in the CMX system ORS, there will be no there will be no physical data will stored. Like if you are pulling some data from landing table or a staging table, so there will not have any physical data stored inside CMX system. What the thing will store? Like you will see name of landing table will store, name of a staging table will store, name of indexes will store, name of stored procedures will store. So all the metadata object will get stored inside the CMX system. No physical data will stored inside CMX system. That's why that is mandatory at the time of installation. We need to create and we need to configure CMX system ORS. So here you can see, yeah. So fine, we have created one store location like CMX underscore system. We have given a name CMX underscore system. So that is responsible for storing all the metadata information of all the Informatica MDM segment and all the other ORS metadata information. Fine. So now we need to create some other ORS, so that on top of that we can actually store the physical data which we are getting from business. So like I am telling, like we need to create some development ORS, so that we can do some development or we can do some ORS, we can do some POC. So once we will create some development ORS or CMX ORS, so your actual data will get stored, and that metadata information, like the name of the table which you will create inside this ORS, will be stored in the CMX system. So all the metadata information will stored in CMX underscore system, and mostly all the actual business data will stored inside the CMX ORS. That is the main difference between these two. So let's see that that application is up or not.
Hello, Sujit sir.
Yeah, Devoji, tell me.
Hello, Sujit sir.
Yeah, tell me.
I just wanted to know that for the dev ORS, we will be having two ORS, right? Means one CMX system and one CMX ORS.
Right. No, see, just once you are going to install that application, so first of all, you need to configure CMX underscore system. That is mandatory. Okay. So you can say that that is the part of the that is the part of installation. You have to create that ORS. But after creating that ORS, like you are planning that at least I should have a 3 ORS for these 3 different environment. Like you want to create a one development ORS for development environment. You want to create a second test ORS for test environment, and you want to create a third production ORS for the production environment. So total how many ORS you will have? One CMX system and one this, one this, one this. So total 4 ORS you will have. Fine. I will show that practically. So let me connect with the machine. We will create this ORS today if a machine will up. So, yeah, so if you want to access the JBoss application like that, you want to know like this is up or not, so you can use that web console with the help of this URL. So just open Internet Explorer and so just I am trying to access the JBoss web console so that I can understand like JBoss has been started or not. So after triggering that particular executable script, please wait for at least 10 minutes because it takes some time to deploy the files and folder to the JBoss application. So it takes some time. And for confirmation, we can access this URL with the help of browser, and we can understand that application is running or not. So first of all, we need to confirm like JBoss is running or not. Then we will try to start MDM application. So press enter. Here you can see searching is going on. Yeah. So till now, if anyone have any question, then you can ask.
Is it that all
Yes,
projects should
Sujit
have
sir,
4 to 5 hours?
this is
Yeah. Just hold. Devoji, just hold for a moment. Akash is asking some question. Yeah, Akash, tell me.
Is it all projects should have 4 to 5 hours? So what is the basic requirement
Yeah.
when you
So
design
see,
a
yeah, in general, at least we should have 4 ORS. So CMX system you will count as a kind of a part of installation. So this will be present in all the project on at in all the installation that will be present. And apart from this, at least minimum we should have a three ORS for the three environment, right? Because development team should not have access for the test ORS, and testing team should not have the access to the development ORS. Same like this, like if the code has been deployed to production, so only production or maintenance team could have the access to log into this particular access to this particular ORS, right? So in general, we minimum we should have a 4 ORS, but we can create multiple ORS also. It depend on us.
okay.
Yeah, Devo, you tell me.
and yes, Sujit sir, I wanted to know that whether we need to install the softwares in VM machine only, or we can directly install in our local PC.
See, once you are going to work in any project now, so there you will have a strong servers. Like you will have a server of 32 GB RAM. Like in the current project, we are using a server of 94 GB RAM. Okay, our server is having 94
Okay.
GB of RAM. So this much of a strong server we will have. So on top of that, we have installed our application to get the better performance, because only we have no need to take care for the set of files or the how huge application is. We also have to take care like how much volume of data we are having and how much volume of data we are going to process. So in the current project we are having around 120 terabyte of data.
Okay.
So for processing this much of data, at least we should
Okay.
have a 94 GB of RAM. So we have upgraded our server to 94 GB of
Okay.
RAM in the current project where we are working. So in actual, we
Okay.
don't in actual project in the company we don't use any VMware, okay? Because there you will have a
Okay.
dedicated machine, there we will have a dedicated server, and on each and every
Okay.
machine, like in one machine you can install a database server, in the second machine you can install a kind of CleanMash server, in the third machine you can
Okay.
install a MRM server, in the fourth machine you can install a JBoss, okay? So likewise that you can distribute
Okay.
your load of the whole applications to the different node. So clustering is also possible for this application. Like suppose if you are having a
Okay.
very huge volume of data and you want to process, So what applications does? Applications try to cache their data in their caching memory, and then it will process. So for caching the data, actually they use a kind of physical memory like RAM. So if you are having a huge volume of data, you need to upgrade your RAM of the server. Fine. So what we do use in the general case, we
Okay.
try to do the clustering. Like suppose we are having a one machine on which we can only assign a 94 GB of RAM. We cannot exceed the RAM because that cannot be supported by their hardwares. So we can add other physical servers or we can add other physical machine, and we can do the clustering. We can what we say, we can connect these machines in between that, and they will work as a single machine. Okay, so clustering is also possible, and that is a very good concept. That's why now you can see big data is coming in picture, because one of the big advantage of big data is that we can do the clustering of many nodes. Like in our current project, so our some most of the data, like whole data, first of all, they are that are going to store on the Hadoop cluster. So in our Hadoop cluster, we are having 100 physical machines. Okay, and these all the 100 physical machines are clustered to each other with the help of the concept of name node and data node is there. So these all 100 machines are working as a single machine for the individuals. If individual is interacting, then they don't know like where that their address field is getting stored and where their image file is getting stored. They don't know. They understand that if I am feeding some information, that information is getting stored in some machine. But what happens in general cases, like if you are uploading some file to YouTube, so like if the file size is kind of 100 MB, then it is not mandatory that all the 100 MB file will stored in one physical machine. Maybe some file will be stored in different machine, and some part of the file will store in different machine. But there is a clustering concept is there. There is a concept of big data. So they can easily communicate, and they can understand like which part of file is stored at which machine. And if you want to retrieve that information with the help of name node and data node concept, they can easily retrieve the actual information. So here also, like if we are having a very less data, then in that case we can use a kind of very low cost hardwares. And if we are having a very strong volume of data, then in that case we do use a strong hardware like a 64 GB RAM or 94 GB RAM. That's all.
Okay. Okay. We need a VMware. Is it?
VMware, like in an actual project, like
No, in our home environment.
sorry, sorry,
Uh,
please come
when
again.
we are installing the Informatica, yeah, when we are installing the Informatica MDM in our home machine, in our local PC,
Hmm.
so we need to first install it in the VMware, and then work, or we can install it directly in our local machine.
No, no. See, if you will install directly in your local machine, na, so if you are having a RAM of 4 GB or 8 GB RAM, then it will not run,
Mm-hmm.
and your machine will be very slow. For that, what we do use, because in our machine
Okay.
we do have kind of Windows 7 or Windows 10. Okay, so that all are these operating system are the part
Okay.
of client version, that are not a server.
Okay.
So we do install
Okay.
in the server operating system. So here you can see we
Okay.
have used Windows Server 2003, right? So once you are going to
Okay.
install any heavy application on the server, then it will be faster,
Okay.
because server is only made
Okay.
for the applications. So that's
Okay.
why
Okay.
we will install that application in a Windows Server 2003 inside a VM virtual machine. So
Okay.
all these
Okay.
softwares you will get and you can download from the link. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
And how you have to install that, I've shown you some steps now. So with the help of that step, you can install in your machine.
Okay.
So I don't know, this is taking some time. This is not getting opened. Yeah, any other question, please ask. Meanwhile, if you are having.
Yeah, Sachit, I have a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sachit, thing is like, as you said, we have to create a new virtual machine. Will that virtual machine will be shared with each other?
No, no. See, if you are installing that virtual machine in your PC, so that will be local to your machine. No one can access that.
Okay, then we will be accessing only the shared server, right?
Yeah, yeah. And for 10.1
Where
only,
else?
for current 9.1, what the thing we are going to install for doing the POC, we will use a virtual machine and we will install that virtual machine. What the steps I covered earlier. So with the help of that step, you can install that 9.1 in your machine and you can do the POC. But for 10.1, that will require very strong hardware. So for that, I am planning to install 10.1 in cloud server, and I will give you a link so that with the help of that link you can access. You have no need to upgrade your laptop or desktop for 16 or 32 GB RAM. Okay. So if you are having a laptop or desktop 2 GB of RAM, then also you can access that, because your machine will act as a client and the server will be on the cloud for 10.1.
Okay, the database will be shared with each other, right?
Yeah, database, JBoss server, and MDM application. These three thing will be shared to everyone, and we will create a user for each and everyone, so that if 3 or 4 person or 5 person want to do the POC simultaneously, then they can do that, because that will be the cloud application. Okay.
Okay.
Because
Okay,
each and every person will log into their one credential, so each and every will be assigned a kind of different session for every user. So means many user can work simultaneously, that's not a problem. Like in our development project, what we normally follow, like at the time of development, many developers work simultaneously, right? So in the same way, we will use that cloud server for 10.1, but for 9.1 we have to cover these steps.
okay.
So
How many virtual machines can I create?
Sorry.
Can one person can create? How many virtual machine can one person create? Because, for example, as you have created new virtual machine, as you find and some issues in your old virtual machine, as you have created new one, will, for example, if I create a new virtual machine, if I found any issue, I was supposed to create one more new virtual machine. How
Right,
many
right.
virtual machines can be allowed for a single person?
See, in workstation 12 or 9, you can create any number of virtual machine, and if you are finding that virtual machine is not running, na, you can easily remove that. Just I am showing you the step. Just a minute. So just like if you want to remove that virtual machine, na, so the step is very easy, very easy. Just click on this and click on remove. So once you will click on remove, that virtual machine will be removed from your system. Okay, so you can kind of create any number of virtual machine inside that virtual workstation.
But I need a specific RAM, right? For each virtual machine, I need some RAM.
Right, right. So see, so suppose you have installed 5 virtual machine. Okay, so try to run one virtual machine at a time, because if you run a multiple virtual machine at a time, so RAM will not be available. So in that case, there could be a your application could be very slow, right? But once you run one application at a time out of 5, na, then you can work easily. That's not a problem.
And
Because
one more question regarding ORS. As you said, Dev ORS, Test ORS, and Production ORS.
yeah.
Will that tables will be different with each other, right? Table and data will be different from each other.
Yeah, see. So
Data from table.
yeah, yeah, see. So like what happens, we need to understand like a different environment. So like if you are going to work as a developer in some project, so developers will design some project and they will do the coding as per the business requirement, right? Then the same coding will be what we say deployed in the different environment. So the
Yes.
code will remain
Yes.
same, and that will be deployed to the different environment. So data may be different. Maybe testers are using some test data for doing the negative testing or positive testing. So in different environment, data will be different, but the actual dump of code will be same throughout the environment. Maybe after getting some bug, you can developers can fix that bug and they can apply some hot fix. Then there could be some code change, but the base of all the code will remain same, which will be delivered by the developers. Later we can do like in production also we do change in some code, like if we are getting some typical error or typical some kind of data, then we can raise a kind of that is called ticket or change request, CR request to the customers, and after getting the approval we can make a change in the code in production also. Sure, but in production also, see what is the actually you need to know SDLC life cycle. Please try to recap that with the help of Google. So what happens after design? We start the development. So one development will done, then that particular dump of code will be hand over to the testing team
Deployed.
with the help
Yes.
of some applications, and that code will be deployed to the testing environment. So once that code will be deployed to testing environment, that code will be available in testing ORS, and only the testing people can access that particular ORS or that particular code. So testing people will do the testing, negative testing or positive testing, and if they will find some bug or something else, then they will report to the development, and developer will take care. If that is a valid bug, then and they will try to apply some solution to their code, and they will try to apply some kind of write code so that that bug can be fixed. And if after all the testing has been done and QA has confirmed that this code is running fine as per business requirement, then that code will be deployed to the production. And in production, there will production environment will only have access to the maintenance guys or production peoples. No testing guys or developing guys can access the production. So all the environment are different. In a general scenario, all the environments are different, and only the respective user of that particular environment can access that particular ORS.
Can a single person can more than one ORS, right?
See, yeah, you can like if you want that this particular ORS, like if I want that you can access testing also and development also, so I can give the access, and I can also give you the access of production also, but that does not happen in real case, but that is possible, okay?
Okay.
Because what will happen if a developer has made some code and tester has started
Yeah,
testing,
understood that.
right? You know that, na?
Yeah,
And
I understood the change.
tester
Yeah.
tester has reported some bug. So developer have access to testing environment. They have made the change and they told that there is no bug. You are telling a lie because see the code is fine, right? So that type of conflict happens, na? That's why we assign a different box and different environment for each team.
But in real time, only development team will have access to dev ORS. We'll have some different database environment, and for test ORS, testing team will have that access, and testing team will have different database. I mean, also likewise, the production team will have access to production ORS and its database, right?
Right. So see, actually metadata information will be same. Like if a testing team is going to create a database now, so they will also try to keep the name of the tables or database which has been used inside the actual code. They will try to use the same metadata information. Okay. And in production also the metadata information and the actual coding will be same. Only the data will
Okay.
change. Like in testing environment, data may be different. In
Yeah,
production,
yeah, I
data may be
understood that.
different. Okay.
Yeah, I understood that. Thanks, Vijay. That's it from me.
Okay, okay. So I think actually there is some problem in my machine. Actually, that is happening today. Let me just wait for 2 minutes. Let's try to connect. And if this is connecting, then that's fine. And otherwise, you can drop the session. So, everyone try to have a SQL concept. I think most of the people, our main intention is to make a job switch, right? So, if you want to planning a job switch, so parallelly try to have a good understanding all the complex SQL queries. Okay. So, try to solve some complex SQL queries, so that apart from MDM concept, they expect that you are very good in SQL. To try to start learning a SQL in parallel.
Uh, so Sujit,
Yeah, tell me.
when it comes to SQL, there are a lot of internal tables we have in MDM, right? C repos. Uh, what is for C repos? What is for C?
Right. So,
You'll be covering.
yeah, see, there are approx 50 to 60 metadata tables are there, which will be created once we will configure ORS. Then you will see many metadata table will be created. But see, at the time of development, we try to interact with some tables, not all the tables. So at least we will try to understand some tables, which will be useful for the developers and for all the people. Okay, not all the tables, because some of the tables we don't have any use. That has been only made for the kind of holding metadata information. So we have no need to worry about that. But for some of the tables, of course, we need to know. So we will try to understand each and every important tables. So yeah, on the same website, if you want to have a kind of what we say complex SQL queries, then you can go to this website. I have actually made some interview questions. So here you can go SQL interview questions. So here you can see many complex SQL questions are there, which actually generally asked in all the interview. So you can make a revise if you are having a time. Then you can have a look on these questions, and you can, for each and every question, answer is there. So just try to find the answer by your end. If you are not finding, you can see the answer. So, and this is for SQL, and for Informatica MDM also. Here some interview questions are here. So if you have a time, then you can have a look on this. But I will cover this each and every question after completion of the training. Means especially interview, we will have some kind of session, and we will try to cover most repeatedly asked interview questions, so that we can prepare for that. Just I am assigning 4 GB RAM. I am seeing that what is happening. So what we will do, like from next class and from now onwards, we will create ORS, and you will see that there are many steps which we have to take care for creating the ORS. And then after creating the ORS, we need to map that ORS to MDM console. So we will see that step. So actually, I don't know, there is some issue in my machine, so I'll fix it by today. Okay, that's not a problem. Yesterday that was running fine, so that is still running, and I don't know how much time it will take. So let's drop for the session for today. Okay.
But
And
tomorrow, what is the time?
tomorrow is a Monday, right?
Regular timing. Regular timing. If we are in
So
weekdays.
yeah, let's discuss the regular timing. So
Can we have
Devojit,
in morning?
yeah, just a minute. So Devojit is only fine for Saturday, Sunday. Andrew is also only fine for Saturday, Sunday. So I know that these two people can only be available on Saturday, Sunday. So
So
Akash,
Saturday, Sunday is not a problem, but can we
Yeah.
have in morning?
yeah. So
Like 10 to 9
like
to 11.
so just wait for 4 to 5 days now, because I have some class in morning. Okay. So once that batch will finish, we will schedule some class in between Monday to Friday also. Apart from Saturday and Sunday, we can schedule some class